Ahoy Vashikni. In today's video, I'm addressing one of the questions that I get asked by a lot of people who want to move to Prague, people who just moved to Prague, and I even see this question being asked in online groups with expats who've lived here for a while now. And that is, how do you deal with money here? Specifically, how do you transfer money from US dollars to Czech crowns, to euros when you travel and back again, etc. So for those of you who don't know, the Czech Republic does not actually use euros. It's always shocking for foreigners. Yes, we are in the EU, but we don't use euros. We have our own currency called the Czech koruna, the crown. It's very pretty and it's very strong, and I don't think we're going to be changing it anytime soon. So different currencies have presented some problems for my husband and me in the past 10 years. And if you visit the Czech Republic or you do business in the Czech Republic, or if you live here and you visit or do business elsewhere, I bet you that you share some of these problems. And so this video might be helpful to you and help you save a little bit of money. So for this explainer video, I've decided to partner with the company that my husband and I used to help solve these problems. And that company is Wise. And they're also the sponsor of this video. I'll get into the various problems we've had and ways we've solved those problems with Wise in a minute. Now, you might have heard of them before. They used to be called TransferWise. Now they're just Wise. It's a little simpler, just like their service. They offer you one account with over 50 currencies. This account comes with access to a debit card. And if you're a resident of certain countries, you can use this debit card any way that you would use a normal debit card. Most importantly, this account allows you to save on fees and exchange rates when sending, receiving, or spending money abroad. Stick around until the end of this video and I will show you how you can transfer up to the equivalent of 500 British pounds without any fees. Or you can click on the link in the description box to get started. When we moved to the Czech Republic, we obviously didn't have any crowns. All of our savings was in US dollars. But when you arrive here, you've got to spend some money right up front. You've got to rent a flat. You've got to get a Metro pass and do all the things that help you get set up before you have a job that pays you Czech crowns. So how to pay for those things when all you have is US dollars? Now, if you're a savvy traveler, you know never to rely on ATMs or exchange offices to change money. A more sophisticated recent expat might think, oh, I can just transfer money from my American bank to my newly opened Czech bank. Here's the thing, that's gonna cost you a lot of money. So there are often hidden fees that they don't advertise right up front. And even if they say no or low fees, they get you in the exchange rate. Let's say the exchange rate listed on Google for Czech crowns to US dollars is 22.5 Czech crowns to $1 US. But your bank offers the exchange rate of 19 crowns to $1 US. But they're not going to advertise that terrible exchange rate. That's going to be in the fine print. And if you transfer $1,000 from your USD account to your Czech crown account, that's a loss of $155 just on a bad exchange rate. When you use Wise to transfer money between currencies, you always get the mid-market rate. That's the one you see on Google. And they list it in the Wise platform so you can see exactly what your recipient will receive. They do charge a fee, but as you can see, it's listed right up front. It's small and it's always very clear what your recipient will receive. So you won't lose any money to hidden fees that can cost you a lot. This is how we send money to our family members back in the US. This is how we are able to take our American dollar savings and spend it in Czech crowns. When we bought a flat here, we had to have a large sum of money for the down payment, and this is how we were able to transfer our American savings into Czech crowns and save thousands of dollars doing it. Earning money in different currencies is the next problem that a lot of expats have. In the first couple of years, we worked in various freelance capacities. So I was teaching English, but not only was I teaching Czechs, I also had online students in France and in Switzerland, and they wanted to pay me in euros and Swiss francs. At first, they were paying me through PayPal, and those fees were just a waste of money. Now they pay me through Wise, and it's very easy. When you have a Wise account, you can simply send money to someone's bank account. The recipient doesn't need to have a Wise account. The other option you could explore is Wise multi-currency account. With a Wise multi-currency account, you get 10 different bank accounts in up to 10 currencies, including US dollars, euros, and British pounds. So for example, an American account always has a routing number and an account number, and a Euro account always has an IBAN and a SWIFT code. A Wise multi-currency account will give you the numbers for those different currencies without you actually needing to have a bank account in those currencies. And then you can just receive money through that. And you can hold over 50 currencies in that one account. So for example, if you have a French client and they want to pay you in euros, you can just share your IBAN, SWIFT code, and account number from your Wise account with them, and they would pay you just like they're paying anyone else in euros. Then you simply convert those euros into crown in your own Wise account, and then you can spend it right here in the Czech Republic. These days, if you're an online teacher, a programmer, web developer, etc., and you're living in the Czech Republic, you're probably getting paid from people in other currencies. Right now, because I'm a hustler, I get paid in Czech crowns, in euros, sometimes in British pounds, in Swiss francs, and US dollars. And I need them all to be in Czech crowns. And when you use Wise to move currencies in this multi-currency account, it is up to 3 times cheaper than PayPal and up to 8 times cheaper than bank transfers. That's a huge deal. The last problem that my husband and I had was how to spend our money internationally. Of course, if you've moved to the Czech Republic for adventure, that adventure does not stop at the Czech border. You're probably gonna spend some fun weekends in Berlin and Warsaw, maybe London, maybe Zurich. And if you're earning Czech crowns, how are you going to convert that into euros, British pounds, Swiss francs, in order to spend it there? Now, I know your first instinct is to get off the train or plane and go directly to the exchange office or the ATM. Exchange offices and ATMs in other countries operate much like they do here in Prague and make a lot of money doing it. This is where Wise becomes really useful. You can get this card, which allows you to spend from your multi-currency account. My multi-currency account has Czech crowns, euros, US dollars, Swiss francs. So if I'm spending a 3-day weekend in Berlin, I simply put a few thousand Czech crowns into my multi-currency Wise account, and then I can convert it and I can see exactly what the conversion is and the fees, everything, in my Wise application. And then I can spend a few hundred euros when I'm there in Berlin. Then I can just use my card. I can also put this on Google Pay or Apple Pay, and I can just use this card as I would any other card at an ATM or in a shop, grocery store, etc. And when you use this Wise debit card at an ATM abroad, up to the equivalent of 200 British pounds are free. And again, you just use this like you would any other card. So if any of this interests you, Wise has a special offer for Dream Prague viewers. Right now, when you sign up with the link below, you can get your first transfer up to 500 British pounds equivalent without any fees using Wise. So if you're visiting the Czech Republic, that's over 14,000 Czech crowns without any fees. That's gonna buy you a lot of tasty Czech pivo. So I hope these tips helped out some of the newbies, some of the tourists, and even some of the locals who hadn't really been focusing on the money they're losing in all of the currency exchanges. Tak, uvidíme se příští týden. Ahoj.